In this series of videos, we're going to be giving you an introduction to mobile forensics. I'll be using primarily two documents, one from Chuck Eastham, the Introduction to Mobile Forensics, and the other one from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, publication, I believe it's 801, 800-101R. So this revision was complete in 2014, I believe, May of 14. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll probably break this up into sections, but we'll just kind of go through some of these papers to get you a jump start on some of the topics here. Alright, let's see. So when we're thinking about mobile forensics, the first thing that comes to mind is cell phones, and that will be where the majority of our attention focuses. But mobile forensics is not just cell phones, it's also things that go in the cell phone, and it's also other mobile devices like a tablet, a GPS, things like that. Laptops are a little bit of a gray area, but if it runs on a computer operating system, it should be treated like a computer for computer forensics. If it has mass storage like a computer, then it will not fall into the realm of mobile forensics. Okay, so it's important to differentiate those. When we're looking into a cell phone, one of the things that a phone often has is something called a SIM card. I'll be pulling up pictures here. I'm just going to use Google search to show you these things as we go through. Alright, so a SIM card looks like this. There are three different sizes of SIM cards. Alright, so there's a standard, the micro, and the nano. There are readers and adapters to make these readable using forensics tools. If you order a phone or purchase a SIM card to put into your phone or whatever, you'll see it'll often come like this. This thing is about the size of a credit card, and so you can see what this is in relative. So this looks like a probably it's either a micro or a standard. There are some phones that have multiple SIM cards, so let's see if I can find you a picture of that real quick. Dual SIM card. The reason a person would want two SIM cards is they can have two different profiles. It's essentially carrying two phones without having to carry two phones. So it may be for legitimate, or it may be for illegitimate purposes. So when I pull this image up, actually I got a antivirus notification here on my computer. Alright, so it's just different phones. You'll see these a lot in Asian countries, but you can certainly buy them and import them over to wherever you're living, presumably the United States. But that's how those would look. And then on the screen here, you might see something like this. Which SIM card do you want to use? So which phone do you want to use? So again, it could be used for business purposes. If maybe you're selling something, or you're running multiple businesses, or doing something like that. Or it could be used for something illegitimate. So perhaps you're selling illegal stuff, or having some sort of affair or something. All right. So the SIM is the heart of the phone. It's a removable chip. You'll see that it's a removable chip, and when we were back in the 2G and 3G days, say pre-2001 or so, you would see mostly CDMA phones would have the SIM card that you could get to, and the GSM phones, which were your AT&T and T-Mobile, they would have the SIM cards where you could get to. And then phones like CDMA would typically not have SIM cards. That's all changed now that we're making it so that people are able to travel more easily, switch out SIM cards, because your Verizon service that works great in Georgia and the United States may not work so great in Georgia over in Eastern Europe. Alright, so if you change the SIM in the phone, you change the phone's identity. The SIM stores the IMSI. So there are several terms in mobile forensics that you should get familiar with, and we'll create a list of definitions or terms, or we'll find one that's already been created for us. But IMSI is one of them. It's your International Mobile Subscriber Identity. You would report this in your findings if you're conducting a mobile forensics investigation. The IMSI, which we'll discuss in detail later, uniquely identifies a phone. So it's kind of like that phone's social security number or something. Let's see. SIM will also usually have the network information, and the provider of the SIM card keeps some information on their end too. We'll get into that later in the course. Services the user has access to, and 2 passwords. The passwords are the PIN and the PUC. So again, here are more of those terms that we need to know. So the PIN is your personal identification number, and the PUC is the personal unblocking code. PUC is a code used to reset a forgotten PIN. However, using the code wipes the phone and resets it to factory state, destroying any forensic evidence. If the code is entered incorrectly 10 times in a row, the device becomes permanently blocked and recoverable. So entering a PIN or personal unblock code can cause you to completely destroy your case. So some mobile forensics investigators will refer to this as getting pucked up, or just getting pucked. So you have to be careful with the personal unblock key. Sometimes you'll see this as a PIN unlock key code as well, or PIN unlock key. That's how you'll also see that sometimes. Let me see if I can search that real quick and show that to you. Personal unlocking key. And again, the IMSI is your mobile subscriber identity. It's a 15-digit number. Let me see if I can show you what that looks like. Again, depending on the model of the phone, you may be able to remove the back cover and see the IMSI printed there. You can also find this usually in the settings of the phone. So again, it's a 15 character number. The first part identifies the country. So on this one we're looking on here, 234 means that it's from the United Kingdom. The second 2 is the carrier, so this one's for Vodafone. Those together are your SIM ID, and then the rest of this MSIN, and we'll talk about that's your mobile subscriber identification number. Alright, so let's see if we can find one more image to break that down for us. Alright, so again, your mobile country code, and you can go out there and just look up the list of codes. If you find the country code. The second one is the network code, so that would be like your Verizon, AT&T, and then your MSIN, mobile subscriber identification number, right there. First 3 digits, yeah, okay. To prevent tracking and cloning, the IMSI is very rarely sent over the network. Instead, a temporary mobile subscriber identity is generated and sent out. So it's a pseudo IMSI, pseudo subscriber identification based off of the original one that should not be able to be reverse engineered. And that one is the one that's sent to authenticate you to the network, so that when you get ready to place a call, you're able to place your call. The ICCID is engraved into the SIM during manufacturing, so it can't be removed. So again, if we go look at that picture of the SIM card ICCID. So think of this like a MAC address, right? So it's burned into the card. So when you go buy a new SIM card, that's your ICCID. The IMEI, this is for international mobile equipment, used to identify GSM and now LTE. We'll talk about the differences between GSM and CDMA as the primary two that we want to explore the differences between. And then we'll talk about how things have kind of come back together under LTE. Alright. And then there's also satellite phones, and you can display it on GSM phones or those by dialing #06#. SMS, this is your text messaging, right? So this uses extra bandwidth in the phone application to be able to send short messages. Usually common messages sizes are broken into either 160, 140, or 70 characters. Sometimes when conducting an investigation, depending on when the message was delivered, you may see something that was out of order. Just as an investigator, you would report these, and you would write in, that you believe, or it's acceptable, or it's plausible that these messages were actually intended to go in a different order. Alright, cellular networks. So these are how cell phones communicate. The strength of the radio signal is purposely regulated to limit its range. Each cell tower consists of an antenna, radio equipment. Right, and then there is a way to look up different cell towers where you're at. Let me see if I can find that. I'm going to pause it for one moment. Okay, so here is one of the sites. This isn't the one I'm looking for. I'm trying to find the one I want to find. If I find it later, I'll share it with you. But I said, show me the cell towers in Macon and the signal map, and then it'll tell me who owns them, what the rating is, where they're located. So one that I know I've seen, let's see if it's here or not. So here's one right here, and that's close to downtown Macon. So next thing is GSM, Edge, and what I'll do is we'll close this video for now, and the next video we'll pick up here. Alright, thanks.